各位来宾，欢迎参加国际创新分论坛日本教育与教育科技趋势高端对话。下面有请演讲嘉宾上场。Distinguished guests, welcome to participate in the International Innovation Sub-Forum. High-level talks on Japanese education and EdTech trends. Next, let's invite our speakers on stage.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming to Japan session. My name is Norihisa Wada. I'll be the lead panelist and also the organizing moderator for this session. And today there is two parts. One part is about presentation from each of the panelists so that everyone could understand what their companies and organizations are like. And also the second part would be a panel discussion with the speakers and myself moderating it. And today it's a very, very rare opportunity for everyone here because usually Japan is said to be like Galapagos closed islands. They don't like to disclose information, but we have the deputy director from the ministry as well as prominent educational service provider Zoshinkai, and also one of the leading prominent EdTech startups, Compass, from Japan. So please enjoy and let us begin. So first of all, we'd like to start off our part one presentation from the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Shibata on stage for his presentation.
Hello everyone. My name is Hirofumi Shibata. I come from the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. And today I'm very honored to be here and share the time with a great panelist. And at the beginning of my presentation, let me tell about some short story. When I was a university student, I majored in the biology. And while I working for the METI, and I had a lot of chance to do the policy making, like new laws and tax reform and getting a huge amount of budget, and without the knowledge of the biology. And so in my case, it's not so popular in METI, but in the future, the very hybrid career is will be common. And so now we are trying to make a new policy making. We call that running innovation, and let's get started. Okay, and from last year, we discussed that in the coming decade, the school will have a different role to play. It means running and solving social issues and project work. And running means that EdTech and interactive learning will replace the classroom. And second, the solving social issues. We think that the Japanese school will have the big potential to solve the social issues. And EdTech can contribute to solve it. And the final, the project work, it means that each student can engage in their own project. And in Japan, we are focused on the very fundamental changes in industry and social issues, like super aging society and non-linear futures, kind of thing. And we experience the many social issues are faster than the other countries, but still we can't solve them yet. So we need we understand that we need to collectively become the change makers, and that can creatively identify and solve social issues. And Meti have started a new project calling the Running Innovation, and making a study group of EdTech. And we discussed the three steps of this figure shows. The first step is that we recognize that the social and the industry change structures is changing in both the world and Japan. And the second step is that we try to identify what kind of talent we need to make change makers. And final step is that in order to create a change maker, what is the running innovation for the new era? And this slide shows that the qualification for the change makers they have the three different type of the power. One is the power called the 50 centimeter revolution. It means that they have the strong ownership, and they have the power to take the first step to solve the difficult problems. The second power is that we call that the crossing boundaries. It means that the change maker can understand their own expertise and the unfamiliar fields. And the third power is that try and error power. And the change maker also had some action with their own reflection, and try to do the different things, difficult things. This is a logmark of our project, the Running Innovation Platform in Japan. And we think that the Running Innovation Platform aims to create the new environment in Japan where the change makers are born. To build the running, to create a running innovation, we think that this platform will be the place of wisdom to create education innovation with cross collaboration. For example, like the private sector and the public education sector, industry, for example, the manufacturing, the service industry, energy and agriculture, and so on. And we want to achieve the social system reform, including the institutional change and the nationwide movement. And our running innovation project consists of two parts. One is the project work, or the STEAMs, and the other is the curriculum education for the 5 core subjects. And a navigator of knowledge connect to these two parts. And project work, or STEAM, means that many students have to experience or the excitement running, or the programming, or the public running kind of thing. And curriculum education for the 5 core subjects, we think that this region can be updated, the direction with the optimization, or the kind of thing, personalization kind of thing. And this figure shows that we think that we need good content, and good running cycle is needed to achieve our policy making and our idea. And the left figure shows that the video content or the AI can make running efficient, and can make project running time will be increased. And the right figure shows that the cycle of the project running and subject running. And there are the three kind of element. The center is finding the excitement, motivation, and willpower. And of course, the basic running means number three, subject running is very important, but it will be the personally optimized. And then each student can choose the project running and STEAM's project or the STEAM's program. And this figure shows that the student-centered idea. And we think that we have to bring the diversity of running for each student. And for example, of course, the many Japanese think that the classroom means that the classroom exists under the school. But in the near future, the classroom will exist under, for example, society or the university research centers kind of thing. And we think that also the curriculum or the teachers or EdTech meaning will change in the future. And so, for example, teachers and school teacher is very common, but a researcher or the teachers or the friends will be the good teacher for each student, we think. And let me introduce our pilot project in Japan. The first pilot project is organized by the Global STEM Running Association in the junior high school and senior high school. And they bring the fab running into the school. And they try to make the new fab running curriculum and new space in school for the fab space. The second one is that organized by the Compass and using the tablet application, the Kibina. And Mr. Jinno-san will explain about in detail after my presentation, so that I only explain about the core idea. And the student can optimize and personalize by using their tablet application, and then they can make a lot of time to do the STEAM work. The third one is that organized by the EdTech, which is programming the educational provider. And the students join the local community and identify the social issues, then the problem solved. And creative solutions using IT or programming. And students can explain this kind of cycle. And that's a kind of our pilot project. And actually, today I don't prepare to explain the pilot project of Zoshinkai, but Zoshinkai is also one of our members of the pilot project, and they focus on their project on the high school, and they focus on the food and Japanese culture to expand the STEAM educational materials, and it's a very good but very challengeable pilot project. And so in Japan there are many pilot projects, and all of pilot project is very challengeable, but we try to make running innovation in Japan, and we try to make a new way in educational region. Thank you.
Thank you, Shibata-san. It was a well done presentation, very high level. As you can see, now Japan is becoming very serious in innovation in education in Japan. Now, second presentation will be from Zoshinkai. I'd like to invite Hirata-san on stage for his presentation.
Thank you, Wada-san, and thank you for the organizers for having me. And before I start, I have to apologize one thing. CEO of the company was going to come, but he got sick last minute, and he couldn't come. He couldn't make it. So, but next year, hopefully, he can make it. So I'm Akira. I'm Global Alliance Officer from Zoshinkai, coming from Japan, and this is my great honor to be on this panel. So, and to meet all of you at this conference. Clicker. This is a clicker. Oh, okay. And this is very exciting for us because, as far as I know, this is our first time ever to speak, to introduce our company at the international conference. So I'm very excited. Okay. It's not moving. Okay, so let me introduce our company. And this is our mission. And our mission is to deliver the best education to anyone, anywhere. And the mission statement, so this is a little blocking, but our mission statement is excellence in education for future global leaders, which means we are committed to deliver best education to anyone for the future global leaders. So that's our mission, and let's dive into more details. So this is the kind of rough structure of the company, and we have about 26 organizations within the group. So we have some major companies in the middle, and this is the structure. And the company was founded 87 years ago by the current CEO's grandfather. He was an English teacher, and he was very passionate about education 87 years ago. And he invented this very new education learning experience called correspondence course. Have you heard of correspondence course? How many of you know about correspondence course? No, really? So it's still paper-based, and we send worksheets to students, and they work on it. And we have a bunch of graders to grade it. And so after they work on these worksheets, they send back to us. And graders are gonna put comments and grade it and send it back to students. And that cycle is gonna happen probably twice or 3 months a month. So it's very personalized, and it's very in detail. So anyway, that's the correspondence course. So since then, 87 years ago, we've grown to big, massive 26 organization company. And now we are one of the largest education companies in Japan. And one of the significant steps we made was acquisition of Eiko Group, which is right there. So Eiko is the largest cram school operator in Japan, and that was a very exciting moment for us to start working with them. So moving on. All right, so we have about 6 main businesses. One is correspondence course on the top left, and cram school is also the major one. And the correspondence course has been our core service since 87 years ago. And we're very proud of the track record that I'm gonna talk about. And the cram school is very big as well because of the Eiko group. And under Eiko, Shane English Learning Center is a very popular English learning center, and we have about 200 learning centers under Shane. And we also have a publishing business, which is right there. We have some category killer products. We do assessment business as well, and we work with the schools, and overseas business is also important as well. And I would like to share that we have some businesses internationally in US, Australia, and Vietnam, and hopefully in China soon. So this is our annual figure. We are very proud of our healthy financial growth over the years. In the next year, this current fiscal year, we are looking at roughly 700 million US dollars as our annual revenue, with a little bit over 300,000 users. And if you've heard of University of Tokyo, have you heard of University of Tokyo? Good, thank you. It's the toughest. It's the most difficult university to get into in Japan, and it's like a Beijing University, Chongqing University in China, or Harvard in US. So we are extremely proud of our track record, which is over 1/3 of incoming freshmen for the past 40 years are users. So you can tell we are really good at keeping enduring good contents and quality of services. So I'm gonna go into the product a little bit. And this is a correspondence course. So correspondence course is very personalized experience for students, and it's very unique and important for us. So this product is designed to deliver personalized learning experience supported by a bunch of graders that we work with. And it's personalized. I keep saying personalized because it's very important. So it's personalized for every single student on this product. And behind this, we help students develop logical thinking process to get to the best answer or to approach problems and questions. And through this learning cycle, they learn the best ways to tackle on to problems and questions. And we have about 200,000 users currently. And the next product I'm going to introduce is Cram School. So we have a little bit over 800 learning centers in total. This is our core business. And we intentionally design classes small, but we do have one-on-one sessions as well. And one of the exciting news we have is we just opened 2 schools in New York last year. And that's very exciting for us, and hopefully again China soon. So the next one is a publishing business. So we do publish some category killer products. One on the left is Sokudoku Eitango. This is a vocab building textbook, and it's been a bestseller, one of the bestsellers in the education category, and we've sold over 6 million copies since 1996. I've used it, it's pretty good. It's pretty hard to work on it, but it was pretty good. And New Treasure series are very well-known English textbooks, and it's being used by very higher performing private schools. And I'm just gonna speed up a little bit. And we love new technologies. So correspondence courses are very traditional, has been very traditional, but we use iPad now to deliver and exchange these worksheets and contents between students and teachers, graders. So if it's mail-based and paper-based, there's always a time gap. So we use this simple technology to maximize the user experience. And Asteria this is the next generation correspondence course content, and it's powered by Newton adaptive engine. So we work with Newton, and it's truly personalized, online, and fully adaptive as well. So I'm gonna skip through. We work with Lego Education. So this is a it's being developed with Lego Education and Lego's training kit on the correspondence course. So we send Lego's training kits with our curriculum, and this is being massively popular. And it became a profound learning journey for the students who are very passionate about STEM. And most important though, we are trying to develop these skills on the right, which is logical thinking, problem solving, and creativity through this product. And this is developed with Sony Global Education, and this is also a programming course. And we are targeting elementary school students. And what's great about this is a free option for standard curriculum, so you can get this free, which is great. And the underlying concept is we care about programming, but it's not only programming. It's more than coding, and it's more than that. So Zeta Pro is a curriculum to acquire practical knowledge, to acquire product development, and the computational thinking process. So future classroom, Shibata-san just mentioned, we work with METI, and we're very excited about this opportunity. We share the same value for the future education of Japan, and so this is a great honor to work with METI's project. So this is the last part. Partnership is a very important part for us in the strategy. So we have more partners than this, but we have domestic, international partners, and we also have investments as well. And our goal is to deliver best education through these partnerships, and hopefully, again, we can work together from Chinese, with Chinese companies as well in the future. So thank you so much. This is it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Hirata-san. I think you all here are very privileged because it's the first time that Zetsukai has came and did a presentation overseas. So it's one of those confidential information disclosed. So next, I'd like to go to Jinno-san from Compass for his presentation. Please, warm welcome for Jinno-san.
Hi, so my name is Genki Jinno. So firstly, I want to say that for my educational philosophy, so that is that time is very important. Of course for me, of course for you, of course for every student. So the reason why I said in here. So today, I'd like to tell you the future of education. So this is my style, but this is very fat boy. So this year I reduced my weight is a 10 kilogram. So I would say that so if you start to the startup, so your weight is reduced to 10 kilogram, I think. So in 2010, I wanted to start up a company in Silicon Valley, but unfortunately their cost was too high. So however, I gained very valuable experience. Do you know that is technological singularity? Do you know? Oh, very good. So technological singularity means that human intelligence is below that of AI. Back in 2010, it was thought that AI intelligence will take over human intelligence by 2045. When I heard this, I thought that this is important for the younger generation, and they should be taught about AI and its effect on lives in the future. Soon after I came back to Japan and established a cram school. Every week I taught mathematics and English and science and history, but I also taught them what will happen in the future. That is technological singularity. That future school was very popular and enjoyed by students. However, parents believe that cram school's main purpose is to prepare their children for examination. I think this is a Chinese too, I think. So, around exam time, we had to stop the future class and concentrate on the main school subjects. For me, so this was very disappointing. In today's classroom, teaching is one way, so meaning that teacher instructs, but there is no communication back from the students. The teacher has no way of knowing did the students understand, do they have a question, is the class too easy or too difficult, so is it boring? As a result, a lot of time is wasting on lessons. So, if subject could be taught more effectively, there would then be more time for a course like the future class, which could be added to the curriculums. And that is why we started a Cubina. Oh, so could you start the movie? Oh, you can get the sound, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is my from school, and so this is a very future style. So, in the development stage of making Cubina, we focus on making things clear and simple so students do not get confused. The UI, like a user experience, is the same as real life, as in the mathematics classroom. The Cubina system is a teacher. The AI algorithm can understand which points the student has difficulty with and can provide a solution. And if the question was too easy, the AI will provide a slightly more difficult challenge. So, the classroom teacher is how it said. The classroom teacher's role would change. The person from the Cubina manager can understand students' progress and can see their concentration level, like this. With this information, the teacher can act as a facilitator like a coach. So the technology does the teaching, the teacher can now focus on the individual, student individual. This is message from the Cubina, and so teacher gets the information, and so can get the good coaching, can be good coaching. So we have collected data have proven that this method of mathematics education is 7 times more effective than traditional teaching. So now we have expanded our service in Japan and also collaborating with the Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry. Right, this is a Cubina. So yeah, I said that so this is 7 times compared that Japanese traditional teaching, so very fast. And so it is enough to study. So now, this is just beginning. So we are also applying this technology to other subjects and other languages as well. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Jinno-san. So as you can see, Cubina Compass is one of the leading EdTech companies from Japan. And we're excited that these companies, first of all, we're excited that the president can speak English and express themselves, right? And also coming over here to look at business developments within China. So now I'd like to go to the second part of the session, which will be the panel discussion. So warm welcome again to METI, Shibata-san. By the way, people say METI in Japan, but it stands for Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. So METI is the ministry, okay? And also Hirata-san from Zoshinkai, and also Jinno-san, please come up to the stage. Okay, now when everyone's getting ready, that's the simultaneous translation in case there's a Q&A. Okay. All right. So second part of the session will be a panel discussion to drill into trends of the education trends in Japan as well as EdTech trends in Japan. And now just a little bit about myself. I come from a company called Edulab in Japan. We're one of the prominent assessment company in Japan. And we work closely with the Ministry of Education and also now with the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. And I'm very privileged to moderate for the panel. Okay, so let's get down to the panel. So I'd like to first start out with my question, of course, to the Ministry, start from the high end. First of all, my question to Shibata-san would be, Ministry of Economy and Trade has announced the first selected batch of projects for future classroom pilot testing. If you were to generally categorize the selected projects, for example, like STEAM, efficiency for teachers, adaptive learning, and etc., what were they? And can you touch and elaborate on some of the projects you feel, as yourself, you feel interesting? And also, I noticed several overseas EdTech solutions. This is very, very interesting for me. I noticed several overseas EdTech solutions being used in the Japan-funded project. Can you share with us some of the overseas EdTech solution providers included in the project?
Thank you. And first, in Japan now, we are managing about 50 kind of the pilot project in Japan, and my strong interest is about the STEAM program pilot project, because in my career in METI, my major is biology, but I have to try to make a new role and a tax reform and a kind of budget making. And my career showed that the STEAM program is very important to solve our project or to achieve our work. So that's why that in Japan still the STEAM program is very rare, and the number of the STEAM program is very small. So our project try to introduce increase the total number of the STEAM program, I think. And in a pilot project, we accept any companies from any countries, because in Japan, EdTech or the STEAM region, we have the very big disadvantage from the US or China or Israel, and so we have to run from all of the players into the world. Yeah, I think.
Thank you. It's very interesting to understand that the ministry is opening its doors to overseas companies, EdTech companies, to learn, and that's very exciting for Japan as well. So let me go to second question, which will be focused to Zettokai. As everyone understands now that Zettokai has a long history, more than 80 years, as one of the prominent education service providers in Japan. Not only an old school boy in this field, but I feel that recently that you've been active in investing in EdTech companies both inside and outside of Japan. What is your strategy and expectations regarding such actions as Zettokai? And also, how do you see the Japan EdTech in general?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. So before I answer the question, so our mission is to deliver the best education to anyone. anywhere. So we are like constantly looking for like new technologies anywhere, coming from anywhere. It could be like U.S., Europe, Asia, hopefully China soon, but that's the kind of our strategy. And the correspondence course has been kind of low tech for a long time, and it's because we have to rely on to like mail in paper. But given like this new era is coming up, we have to change that business model. So new technology is very important for us to change our correspondence course. So that's correspondence course specific, but also for like learners we have to make content in the courses relevant to these learners. And if there's like any new technologies gets kind of getting better, making the content and services better, we take these technologies. That's the kind of strategy we have. In EdTech trend in Japan, it's still small. EdTech market is very small, still small in Japan. But the flip side is there's so much potential because we don't really use EdTech much yet. But the market itself is fairly large. Compared to China, it's a little small, but it's fairly large. So if we can leverage and utilize these educational technologies in this fairly large market, there's a big potential for EdTech ecosystem. That's what I think.
All right, thank you, Hirata-san. So my third question to Jinno-san, leading EdTech startup venture in Japan. First of all, Hirata-san said that the Japanese market in EdTech is small. I know you've had a experience working outside of Japan. So first question is, what made you create and start up a company in EdTech field where Hirata-san said very small market in Japan, although you have an experience of working outside of Japan? And also, second question will be, as an EdTech startup, how do you see the EdTech venture ecosystem in Japan?
First question is it is, I think so. I said I'm fearing that's a technological singularity. So my dream or my purpose is to achieve this education evolution in Japan. Because if I didn't do that, so Japanese students is where did you go? So yeah, it is just my dream. I think it is. I didn't know that. So it is became to a business or not. So just dream, I think. But second question is I think it's EdTech market is small, but education market, all of the education market is huge, I think, in Japan. So first it is two generation, I think, in Japan. Two generation in EdTech in Japan. So I mean that first generation is start to the 2012. That startups is a little bit famous in Japan, but most of the startup is a failed. Cause Japanese education market is very complex and very difficult. It's its problems as legal and infrastructure, and so teacher cannot get to the IT literacy. But the second generation is start to the 2015 or 14, so they can understand to that problem, so they can overcome that problem. I think if that's the problem over, so we can touch to that big market. I think.
I see. Thank you. Personally, I really think that ambitious entrepreneur like you from Japan coming back to Japan and leading this innovation is very happy for me. as well as we understand from your perspective that Japan is right now in a very good inflection point for EdTech startups because the generation is changing. All right, thank you. So going back to Zoshinkai, Hirata-san. Okay, so everyone knows company names like Nintendo and Sony, right? Maybe Jinno-san could be future Nintendo and Sony from Japan, but let's say we don't hear so many EdTech startup names outside of Japan at this moment. Okay, and what's your experience investing in EdTech startups in Japan? What is your impression of these startups? Might be hard comments to Jinno-san, I don't know, but pros and cons, okay? And do you think in the future there will be several EdTech venture startups from Japan that will become like future Nintendo and Sony?
That's a very interesting question. So, like I said, education market as a whole in Japan is fairly big. So my impression is these EdTech companies, startups, tend to probably create services, develop services specifically for Japan. And they work like perfect in Japanese market. But the flip side is it's really hard for them to kind of justify to go global or localize or internationalize their services because Japan is big enough still. So that's why EdTech market could be still small. But we have great services like Jinno-san services.
Good. You said that.
Yes,
Great service.
great services like his company does, and also we have a portfolio company called Arcterasu, and they already have a footprint in Asia, and they even won a global competition last year in London. So we do have great startups coming from Japan to the global community. So it's not really surprising for me if we're gonna have EdTech unicorns at some point in the near future.
All right, thank you. So my wish is Zoshinkai, like prominent education services like you, keep fueling these EdTech start ventures in Japan and from Japan to go global. All right, so going back to Jinno-san, I know Compass is now looking to expand business globally, maybe in China as well. What is your global expansion strategy? And where, can be a country or a region, do you want to start your business outside of Japan?
Okay.
And why?
So I'm thinking about that. So overseas is firstly, so where is so similar problems? Where is having a similar problem from Japan? So so Japanese has a cram school, but and most of the students do that examination. But most of the students don't have a time to get us information for the future. So similar problem have I think China and Korea and most of Asian country. So I'm gonna go to the Asian country and to solve that problem. And so our strategy is two strategies we have. So first strategy is our product Cubina and translates to the other country, and so I provide. Second way is we developing is Compass engine. Compass engine adaptive learning engine to use that Cubina. So if you have content, in China content or Korean content, whatever, so we combine to that engine and discover to that adaptive learning content for you. So these two ways to expand in the overseas, I would say.
Very interesting. So you're saying that not only you provide Cubina as a package, the content itself, but you're willing to provide an engine.
Yes.
To the content providers in the region and the country?
Yes, actually, so I started to in Japan. It's like so my Compass engine combined to the popular to educational company in Japan, Kawaijuku. Kawaijuku's contents combine my engine and so produce that adaptive learning.
Okay, I hope that will be helpful to people here. And also a question to Shibata-san. Given the time, probably it will be my last question. I would like to look to the policy side once again to ask you a question. One, what are some of your future policy plans regarding EdTech and education industry of Japan? Because the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry overlooks the private sector of education. And please share us if any.
Thank you. In Japan, usually the Ministry of Education is in charge of making the policy for the educational system. But now we, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, try to make policy making in the region of the education. And many teachers or companies or the researchers expect to us because METI will occur the new way in the educational regions. And I explained about the pilot project, and they try to make a new product or service or application in Japan. And so in near future, their product or service take into the school, private school, and many teachers will use these products, and the student can learn a lot of things from the teacher and from the application or the EdTech. Yeah, and this is my idea for the future. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So what a way to wrap up the final session part with the strong words from the government, because when the ministry comes in, there's a huge, substantial, strong trends that will build up. And also from the trade industry, it's a trade an industry ministry. It's also open to international and domestic trading as well. So thank you all for your time, as well as thank you all the panelists. Once again, warm applause for all of the panelists here. Thank you very much.